until the goose is in the bottle, you know. And then you hear your mind say, cut the crap. Crap is complaining repeatedly, affirming problems. That's what crap is. Complaining repeatedly, affirming problems. Complaining is a public declaration of your inability to see the Christ. It is bragging that you can't see potential. It is a public declaration that you are blind, you see. And so your mind, the right use of your mind is saying, cut the crap. You see, cut the complaining, repeatedly affirming the problem, and start to affirm the potential. When that begins to be a dimension of your spiritual practice, I'm not saying it's easy. Let's get that clear right here. I'm not saying it's easy. There are patterns that have been developed over years. Patterns that at a certain point of your existence were needed because you needed a defense mechanism against some stuff that happened. You needed a coping mechanism against some stuff that happened in your life. You needed some kind of compulsive behavior to keep you from being overwhelmed by the fear that was within you. I get it. So it's not an easy thing. And so complaining becomes a way of protecting yourself. Some people are protecting themselves because they're afraid that the good is never going to happen in their life. And so they kind of have a milieu around them of complaining because they don't want to expect too much from life, because they don't want to be hurt again, you see. But when you begin to understand that there's something within you that does not have an expiration date, does not know time and space, it does not know any hindrance whatsoever, it only knows its own fulfillment. But at this stage of your human evolution, you must participate in it. It's not going to just happen, it's going to happen just. It's going to happen just. What does that mean? That God is no respecter of persons. God's respecter of consciousness. That the moment you shift your consciousness, there is a birth that takes place. It may be preceded by a birthquake, the shaking of your old life, and then the birth pang, you going beyond your present paradigm into the birth of the Christ itself. And so you hear the dimension of you preparing yourself for the birth. Right use of imagination. Right use of imagination. Move toward your goals that are speaking from your soul, even if you're afraid, so that the energy of fear can be transmuted. And then no longer proclaiming of your inability to see the Christ, burn the midnight oil. Sometimes it's inconvenient, but you got to stop. You got to get still. You got to be quiet. You got to pray like there's no tomorrow, because there's not. There's only this moment. Until you're able to get a glimmer, just a little glimpse of possibility. Just a little glimpse. And you stoke it with your attention. You stoke it with your right conversation. You stoke it with your silence until that little ember becomes a flame within you. Oh my God. I've been worried all my life about nothing. All my life. So what? If such and such happened, I'm still going to be here. So what? I'm still here. I still have possibility within me. You stoke it with that inner fire of spiritual desire to wake up. And you become a new creature in the Christ consciousness. A new being. Oh, this is what it's about, everyone. This is what it's about. I mean, on certain level, we learn all about this stuff through the ability to manifest in our life, to manifest ideal home, manifest whatever, ideal job, manifest the perfect healing of a body temple. We learn all about the law through the wonderful stage of manifestation, but ultimately, It is about allowing the totality of the Spirit of God to reveal itself through our uniqueness so that systematically and automatically all of our legitimate needs are met as a matter of course. In other words, when we hear, be like the lilies of the field and spin and toil not, and not have one anxious thought about how you should eat or clothe yourself or drink. What we're saying is, there's a part of you that's already living in that dynamic. You didn't wake up this morning and say, oh my God, how am I going to digest my food? I forgot how to do it. I forgot how to pull the oxygen and the hydrogen out of the air and move it through my lungs and